NAP consistency. What is it and does it matter? My name is Sam. This is part of our SEO for Beginners series, and we are in our local SEO section. In this video, we are going to go over the importance of NAP consistency for local SEO. We're going to learn how to audit and maintain consistent NAP information across the web, and we're going to look at some tools and strategies to help simplify the process of making sure your listings are accurate. So first, what is NAP consistency? NAP stands for name, address, and phone number, and NAP consistency is making sure that your name, business name, address, and phone number, and website URL, things like that, are consistent across the internet. If it is consistent, that helps search engines and customers trust your business. If you have say you moved locations and you have an old address and a new address, and then the old address is still floating out there, that can be, one, bad for customers if they show up to the wrong address, and two, it can be confusing to search engines. If they don't know the right address, it's going to lower their trust in your business. So having consistent information on your business across the internet is helpful for building authority. You're not going to have conflicting information, and you're going to reduce customer confusion, and it should, all of that, it's going to help to increase engagement and just be a better overall experience for both the search engines and end consumers. So why does it matter? It improves search engine trust and local search rankings. Now, it probably had more weight a decade ago than it did today, as search engines are better able to understand information about your business. But I do think it's still important, and we'll get to that in the next slide here. It provides a better user experience. That's accurate business details. Again, if you say that you're open at 9 o'clock at night and someone shows up and you're not open, that's a bad user experience that can lead to negative reviews and just distaste for your brand and your business. And then app consistency helps to ensure that you have consistent citations across directories and platforms, because not everybody will find you the same way. Some people may find you from your website, some may find you from your Google business profile, some may find you on Yelp, some may find you on Facebook. If you have conflicting information there, that's not helpful, and you want to make sure that you have up-to-date information across all of those platforms. So does NAP consistency matter? And this is it's a question that people across the SEO space will raise. I would say that it doesn't matter as much as it once did, because, as I mentioned, search engines do a better job of understanding your business, but I do think it's still important. At a minimum, it's helpful from a branding and user experience perspective, and we've given some examples where if someone has wrong information about your business, that's going to be a bad experience for them, and that can lead to secondary results, bad reviews, which would negatively impact SEO, and just, again, not a good taste in their mouth for your brand and your business. I do think from a search perspective, it does still hold some weight, because, again, if you have different addresses but you only have one location, that could cause confusion. And I always think about things like this, where if you were to compare yourself to your competitor, and if my competitor has consistent listings and they're all up to date and they're across all these different platforms, and I don't, if I have fewer listings, if I have conflicting information on listings, everything else being the same, my competitor is probably going to rank higher than I would. And so for all of that, plus just the general user experience, I think it's worthwhile to make sure you have consistency across your citations. So steps to achieve NAP consistency. So how do you do this? You need to audit your current listings. So you need to find all the places where your business is listed, and then look at how it's listed. Are you using the same business name, same address, same phone number? Obviously, you can go into email address and URL and services and other things. You want to make sure that you have a standard format. So once you know where all of your listings are, then you want to make sure that you're using the same version of your name, address, and phone number as often as you're able to. Then you will want to go and update those listings. So any of the ones that are not in line with your standardized format, you want to go and update. And then you want to check back. You'll change over time. Sometimes citations can get updated. Sometimes other people can update citations. We actually just had a client who on the Google business profile, you can move the pin for a business, even if you're not associated with the business. And so someone had gone in and done that, and they ended up, they had the right address, but then the pin was in the middle of a park. So things like that are not helpful. So you want to make sure that things stay up to date, and either you can use tools for that, or you can manually check. On that note, some tools for managing NAP consistency. There's a lot of them out there. Some of the bigger ones: BrightLocal, WhiteSpark, Yext, MozLocal. SEMrush has a listings management tool. So those are all helpful because you can basically give it your information one time, and it'll go through and look for all the different places where your business is found, and then it will highlight inconsistencies, and then you can have it update it. And so that's a really easy way to do it. You do pay for that, but it's probably worthwhile compared to manually going through and tracking and updating everything. But you can manually do it as well. Typically that would just be done using a spreadsheet where you just track all of your listings there, and you can go through and update them manually. So those are how you can manage NAP consistency. Some best practices for NAP consistency: use a consistent phone number format. However you do it, it doesn't matter as much how it is, as long as it's consistent. Same for your name, same for your address. Try to avoid multiple addresses or phone numbers unless you actually have multiple addresses or phone numbers. One area where this comes up a lot is in tracking. So if you're using tracking numbers for digital campaigns, does that matter or not? In most cases, I would say no, it doesn't matter. You're okay getting by with that. And a lot of tracking tools have, like Callrel as an example, has ways to help integrate that, or you can have a secondary phone number. So you have the tracking number, but then you do have the actual main business number as well. You want to regularly check and then resolve duplicate listings. Regularly, I wouldn't spend tons of time on this, but once or twice a year at a minimum. You could do it more often than that. And then ensure that the information on your website matches what you're putting out in all these listings. Business hours is an area where I see a lot of inconsistencies. So where someone will have their business hours listed on their website versus what's on their Google Business profile, as an example. And that's one that's very confusing for customers. If someone tries to show up to your business or call and no one's answering, that's not a good look for you. Key takeaways here: NAP consistency is important for local SEO success, again, from both an algorithm perspective, although not as much as it used to be, but also from a user perspective. I think very much you want to be consistent with that. Regular audits and updates are helpful, and so making sure that you don't do this once and then never look at it again, but come back to it. And then I would recommend using tools to help streamline the process. It's going to save you a lot of time and headaches if you do that. So thank you. That's all for this video. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments. You can stay tuned for more of our SEO for Beginners series, and then you can find the whole series at sambrutzman.com. Thank you for your time and for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.